Alright, CSS battle time. Huh. We have rings. We have circles, really. Now, the cool thing about circles is they scale on the radius. So with box shadows, you can use the radius to create circles. Now, sometimes there's something, I forget whether it's border radius and box shadows, where you start losing the perfect border radius as you get a bigger and bigger box shadow out. So I don't know if I want to do that on this one because we get a pretty big circle. The other thing is doing inset. If I had to do an inset box shadow and shift it up and down, you know, like you could probably do an inset box shadow on all of these up and down and overlap them. You'd probably, I think you have to work from the middle out. I don't know. You figure out which end's top, and that'd be pretty easy. And then do inset box shadow all the way through. Radial gradients are fun. They get iffy at this size. I had trouble a few days ago with 100%, and the suggestion was the radial gradient wasn't tight enough. You had to use border radius. Alright, so speaking of radius and scale, I am seeing a purple dot towards the top end of a green dot. A purple dot towards the top end of a green dot. And then purple on the outside. So, could we take advantage of that? I'm trying to think. I'd have to do 2 radial gradients or a radial gradient in a round element. That works. And then I can use HTML and body for that. You know what I'm saying? So the radial gradient is at 2%, 3% or whatever. Or I use a font relative thing and change the font in the second one. But this first circle is the HTML with this radial gradient. And then the second circle is something scaled down. You know? That has merit. The other option is if, yeah, purple circle at the top end of a green circle, and then the purple background here. I think what I can do is the purple background could be a box shadow on the HTML element, right? But I need 3 color stops. Let's see. Let's start. Let's just get the HTML element down. Do I want to do... Maybe I just do 3 color stops and I set the other one in a var and then short circuit it? No, that won't work. Transparent. Second one? Alright. I have an idea. Okay. Background is what we need, right? Let's actually set the background. So that's background color. And then we can do background image on top of it. Right? So we're going to do a circle, and we're doing a purple circle, and it's going to be like 100 pixels, something like that. It's probably too big. And then green, 0. Okay, so why do I need to do that second? Nope. Did I write this wrong? background, radial gradient. Oh, yeah. I wrote it wrong. Okay. I was worried for a second there. There we go. And then if we do this, we shouldn't see it at all up here. All right. So, oh yeah, we won't see it at all. I have to do border radius on that for that to work. Because if I move the purple circle up, the green circle would move up too. You know, it wouldn't be offset like we have here. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Say border 50%. I think I'd have to do that on the body anyways. Okay. And then let's margin it down to... It's not margining. Because the green's just stretching to infinity. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's just bringing the purple in though. That other circle. Yeah, the green's stretching forever, so we're not seeing the other purple color. How do I want to combat this? What I can do is just make the HTML the purple background. Feel like there's a way around this. Alright, I think what I will do, yeah, I'll do a box shadow. Let's do this. Let's go box shadow 0, 0, 0, 5M. There we go. So we're seeing a weird ellipse because it's wider than it is taller. So that's what's happening here. The margin 50. So we want 0 on the top and bottom and like 50 on the sides, right? Let's get this green circle. Hey, the green circle's set. Okay, so the radial gradient now I can say at 50%, right? We want it in the middle, but more like 20 pixels. Oh, a little bit better than that. 80, 90, 10? Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so let's just fix our box shadow. Needs to be this, right? And a little bit bigger. Okay. So, because I use the AND selector, this all will land on the HTML element only, and I think what I could do is just move the background down to the body and it should bubble up like I want. Okay, so I have that. And I want that same thing on the body right here. So let's see what happens. Let's see how things react when I move this down into that selector. No, it didn't break. This is a good sign. Okay, so what this probably means is the body. Let's throw some margin on this now and see how it moves. It didn't. Okay, let's put a lot of margin. No. Am I not selecting the body? Okay. 2 pixels, you know, typical. Okay, the body is there. That's why it didn't move. We're just getting a purple square. What we need to do is shrink the purple down to the size that we need. And also its position. So I have it at 110 pixels right now. What I need to do is turn that into a font-based thing or a variable. I can't change it into a variable because I wouldn't be able to update it. I'm starting to think I might need an extra tag in order to separate this from the HTML element and then into the body. Alright, let's see if I can wrap my head around this. We want the gradient to be smaller. What's the size on this? Let's see. It's right around 174 to 225. That's 50 pixels, right? Yeah, that's like 50 pixels. So instead of 100, it's 1/4 the size. That's good. What if we do scale 25%? Okay, well that shrunk it from its current size. It didn't shrink, doesn't do anything to the gradient. Let's do this. 110 divided by 16. Let's just run it into M that way. Yes, I am using a calculator. I am not that smart. 6.875 M. Okay. Let's see what happens when we do our font trick. It's 25%. Hey. Nothing, because we're... Oh! Well, now I know why, because I did it in the whole wrong spot, like a doofus. I might need it there, too. Anyways, 6.875 was that one. 100 divided by 16. 6.25. There we go. This is where I should. 6.25 M. Font 25% A, and we still don't see anything there. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're changing the font of the font size of the parent, and that cascades down. But it doesn't change it inside the child, so I can't use that. I think I just have to use a variable. But I can't use a variable because I'm in the body with it. And the reason for the body is to avoid passing the box shadow along. Alright. I just need to use an extra selector so that I can have the things I only want in HTML to be there, and then what I want to cascade, I can cascade. So let's put this back up there. Let's make a new selector. Let's make this one on its own, right? And it's going to get the box shadow. That's all I want on just the HTML element, and then we're going to do this. But take that. There we go. So now, okay, we're actually in decent shape. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, let's take the border off. I think that's our. There we go. And okay, and then what was this? This was 6.875 M. 6.875 M, and we're almost there. Okay. Oh. Well, that ain't working. Wonder why that one's... Oh, I see, because it's all cascading up. So this does need to be 875 for the top one to be right. And then the font size... Okay. So we have that right for the size, but now the position is what's not lining up. So, you know what we do then? Oh, we can't reassign a variable here. No! All my usual tricks aren't working. Oh, I can. I can because I put it back in the HTML. Alright, it's not like it was just a moment ago. It's in the HTML element. It is cascading down here. We can wrap this in a var dash p for position and close it. There we go. And then we come down here. Do I need the font 25% just for the one other one? This is starting to feel like less of a good solution. 20. Ooh. Okay, there it is. Let's just see if we get 100%. I might have to leave it here. I don't think this was as clever or as concise as I was hoping. It's 100% match. Oh, I think there's a better way to do these gradients to stack them. Like, you know, with the units here, and then getting a consistent change instead of having to do two different ones. Oh well. For right now, though. The margin 100. I didn't even realize I had that lined up already, too. Border radius. It works. It works. It works. I'm gonna have to let go of it. It just feels like a puzzle that I'm on the edge of, you know? See anything I can get rid of there? Alright, since we're not nesting this one, I can get rid of the last semicolon there. And 179 characters. Say lovey. Cool. That was kind of a neat design. There's a lot of different ways you could tackle this one. I always like hearing how you saw it, how you went about it, how you approached it. I think that's a big part of the fun of these too. Not just puzzling your way through it, but also seeing how other people see this image. You know, how they interpret it and approach it. Doesn't have to be a better solution. Like, not fewer characters. I enjoy chasing that challenge, but I don't think that's the critical thing here. There's just a joy in solving the puzzle your own way. So, cool. Let me know. And I hope you're having a good day. Hope tomorrow's a good day. Bye.